What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Three and Out. I am your host, Ryan Kieran. With me tonight is Brian Phillips. We had no show last week, little Thanksgiving break. Appreciate you guys who were, asking about it. We are back this week. We're going to be talking some Falcons. Since we didn't get to talk about them last week, we'll talk the Titans game, Bills game. Got a little holiday themed segments here, and then we'll pull in our good pal Dave Latham at DL Patslots will come on to face Brian in trivia as Brian looks to get his second win of the season. So we approach tournament time. Brian, how you doing tonight?
We are hanging in there. Crazy holidays and everything going on. I have no idea what day it is. We talked before the show. I have no idea what week it is in the NFL. I don't know how many games are left, what is happening, but we're getting through it.
We're getting right up to it, folks. I mean, holiday season scheduling might be a little weird. You might see some dates shifting moving forward. Even getting two people on for tonight was a little bit tough, and it's not going to change as we get closer to holiday season. So we'll bear with me through those. Just a fair warning. But yeah, I mean, we're getting to it. There's 5 games left this year? 2 Buffalo, Indy, Jacksonville, Miami. 5 games. There's 5 games, sure. 6 weeks.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. So you're getting
down
to it.
If that's what you're telling me, if that's how many games are left, thank you for that information.
Brian, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was pretty good. I had we hosted.
Nice.
We hosted the wife's.
Was this first host year, or has this been a tradition at this point?
Second time we've had it here. Okay. Second time I've hosted, but first time with this side of the family. So we're trying the same recipes out. Yeah, we're doing the same recipes, but with the different people. But I did have one little mishap in the kitchen, trying to set DraftKings lineups outside at the smoker, checking the temperature. We had the CD Lamb late scratch, so I'm trying to get things done. We had a boil over of the butter and cream for the mashed potatoes. Got that handled. We got it handled. Everything was fine. Everything was delicious. But those DFS late swaps, man, you got to be careful on those those Thanksgiving Thursday slates.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. All right, we'll get right into it. We got a lot to cover tonight, so let's get into first down, and we'll hit a little recap here. So, if you guys have been under a rock since the Thursday night football 2 weeks ago, Patriots beat the Falcons 25-0. It was actually kind of closer than that score, and also not even close to that score. That makes sense. Like the Falcons kind of held them in check a little bit for about a quarter and a half, and then it was just like, all right, they're clearly not fully clicking tonight. Short week, traveling, but the Falcons are so putrid that they're not going to be able to get anything going. It didn't matter.
My biggest takeaway from the game was how quickly we've gone from the Patriots offense struggling, quote unquote struggling, with teams like Miami and getting the ball rolling and getting things going in the beginning of the season, to now it's the same struggles, quote unquote struggles, but we have it framed now as, oh, this is what you've got to do against the bad teams. When you're a really good team, this is what you have to do against the bad teams. You just have to grind out these performances. Whereas just, like 6 weeks ago, we'd be like, this is unacceptable. Right. They've got to get things going with the offense. Now we've completely, we are so excited about the team now that we've completely flipped everything. And it's sure, you want to beat them by 50, but you can't beat everybody by 50. It is the NFL. It is Thursday night. And, but this team is elite, but they're not going to have an elite night every night. I feel like that whole focus has kind of flipped now, which I thought was pretty. I mean, it was a very dominating performance, but I just think it's funny how
especially defensively.
Oh yeah, for defensively they've been, and that's the other thing. It's the same defense that we had in week 1, 2, 3. Just a little bit of variance in there with touchdowns and turnovers. But
we'll use the Bill Belichick cliche that journos love to throw around, complementary football. Everything's clicking together right now. They're each is playing. I'd say the offense has improved from the start of the season. Defense has improved as well, but they're more or less, they're better versions of themselves. But they're still in that same mold that they were. They haven't transcended, or like Mac hasn't taken some huge step. He's more or less been the same guy all year. a little more comfortable taking deep shots now, a little more efficient, isn't spiking the ball backwards for fumbles.
Correct.
But, they're more or less the same team, just things were kind of clunky and not clicking to start the season. Everything's rolling right now, which is great. That's all we'll talk about for Atlanta. We don't need to spend 10 minutes on them or anything. But this past week on Sunday, the Patriots beat the Tennessee Titans, who were the 1 seed entering the week, but also came in pretty decimated on offense and defense. Patriots walk away with a 36-13 win. Another one that was a little bit closer than it seemed. This is one that I wouldn't even really call a good, like you put up almost 40 points. You beat the 1 seed in your conference by 23, and I'm still hesitant to call it a good win. Because it was sloppy. That first half should have been like, it should have been a blowout and over at halftime. If you want to take the actual points that were there, it should have been something like 23-6, 23-3. And it was 14-13 at halftime, something like that, right?
Right.
They shut out the Titans the second half, and I think it was like a 1 or 2 point game. We'll go 14-13. Someone fact check us on in the comments.
Somewhere around there.
Again, exactly what you were just saying with the offense. I mean, they scored points, but it never really felt smooth, except for a couple drives. Kendrick Bourne tiptoeing down the sideline kind of ended the game, and I think they got one more after that in the garbage time. But Mac had good numbers. He didn't feel particularly sharp though. He had some nice throws. He had some weak throws. Missed Hunter Henry for a wide open touchdown. Overall, across the 2 weeks that we're talking about here, Mac was 45 of 58, 517 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 113.9 passer rating. Took 5 sacks for 54 yards across the 2 games. It's like, I mean, numbers are great. You're happy with those. We'll get to the preview in a second, but how do you feel moving forward about the offense? I know you've talked about it. You talked about it with me a few weeks ago that you felt this offense might be fake. As we're seeing it against the defense, but do we still feel like in that vein? Do you where are we at on this offense right now?
To the extent that everybody is fake, like they're kind of fake. I think the only unit in the AFC that isn't fake, there are 2 of them, and it's the Patriots defense and the Chiefs offense. Every other unit in the AFC is fake. I'm sorry, they're all frauds and they're all fake. Because we don't know. We just don't. I mean, there's no clear separation. There's so many dips, and I'm not concerned with the offense, particularly because of how healthy they are. Like you can't they're getting this tremendous. Okay, so I wanted to say 16-13, but that felt wrong. We know the game plan. We know the recipe for this team, and it's consistent. It's easy to reproduce from week to week. And they're so healthy up front that Mike Onwenu isn't starting. Like, I don't get it. But
I hope he's starting on Sunday or Monday night. He took over for Ted Karras a little bit in the Titans game, and then it went back to Karras. I love the idea of Mike Onwenu being like your flex offensive lineman, that you just put him wherever that you want to maul people and just destroy them.
Sure.
I need to feel better about Teddy Karras if that's the path.
Jeff Simmons demolished him. Mm-hmm. Jeff Simmons. I mean, he does that a lot to a lot of people. Like that was the one thing I was watching that entire first half, particularly, and just being like, Jeff Simmons is ruining this game. For, up front. And talent is going to beat guys like Ted Karras. You're gonna have to deal with that. But back to the offense. I mean, they're going to everybody knows what they're going to be, and it's easily repeatable. It's there's not too many bells and whistles. They're using. I think I saw that they're the 8th highest play action rate right now, which is great. Mm-hmm. Good to hear. They are one of the top teams in the league in using motion on all of their plays, but in the bottom 5, I believe, in motion at the snap. So there's not a ton of trickery and things like that. But it
seemed like that upticked a little bit. I don't have the data or anything. It seemed like, because I saw that coming into this week, so I was keeping an eye out for it. It seemed like there were a little bit of an uptick this week in that motion at the snap.
Yeah,
it was slow motion at the snap, but
yeah, and they also will hit you with the the standard motion to identify, get to one side, you flip the run strengths, and then you send Jonnu on a jet sweep and try to attack that edge. I love Kendrick Bourne so much, and I feel like we need to talk between you and me. We need to talk about this because he is mine. He is mine.
He's not
yours. He is mine.
Okay, so Kendrick Bourne across the 2 games, 9 catches, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's there. I've been saying it since like week 3. He's their best offensive player, best offensive weapon. Passing game should be running through him. Hunter Henry second, Jacoby Myers fallback option. Everyone else slots in from there. He's just so good. He's so good. And he is mine because I called him. You sent me a ton of tweets proving your receipts, proving your love for him from an early age. All of them were after he was signed. I was calling him here before he got signed.
That is patently false, sir. I sent you the screenshot of a thread that started out just being a slanderous Jimmy Garoppolo thread and turned into a Kendrick Bourne thread because everywhere I looked, it was just Kendrick Bourne popping off all over the place. And he's always been the guy that, like, you look at him and it's like, it seemed as if for a couple of years there, every touchdown that was scored in San Francisco was scored by Kendrick Bourne.
I was going to say, he should have been like a Super Bowl winning touchdown recipient.
Right. So, but the first game I turned on of theirs last year when I was looking at Jimmy G, when this was before the draft in March, when we were talking about Mac Jones, Justin Fields, do we trade for Jimmy G, all this crap. So I'm watching Jimmy G and just boom, Kendrick Bourne, a seal block that springs an 80-yard touchdown on like the first play from scrimmage of the year last year against the Jets. Kendrick Bourne just being a terror in the red zone. Kendrick Bourne, their fade monster, the 20-yard line. Kendrick Bourne just getting screwed over by Jimmy G time after time after time. Bad ball position to Kendrick Bourne, but he adjusts. And I fell in love. And so he is mine. And I think he should be mine. Here's
the thing, Brian. He's not yours. It's okay that he's not yours, but he's not yours. And also, I've done a better job branding that he's mine on Twitter. So the court of public opinion.
That's not debatable. That's certainly not debatable. I understand that, but there's reality, and then there's Twitter, and sometimes Twitter's better than reality.
You say that like there's a difference here. They're both terrible.
Well, then we're going to have to make a deal here because we know I'm on record. We know I'm on record of the Aguilar and Judon predictions. And so, but now you've got the Judon prediction coming up that we all think has potential now, and I've got some shit part of it.
I'm willing to give you Judon because you were in on Judon day one. I was asking you when Judon got signed. I was like, it feels like they had to overpay him, right? And you were like, I don't think you can, realistically, with the numbers.
That's fair.
I'll concede Judon to you. I have the Judon prediction, but you get Judon. Just give me Bourne.
It was a pretty monster. It was probably my biggest monster prediction free agency of all time with like Jonnu. I was sending a tweet out and then they were signing him. Bring me Jonnu Smith, $50 million. Bring me Judon.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. I think anything else that involves recapping the Titans game here is going to lead into Bills talk. So we can just hop over to the preview now.
Yes.
Monday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. on ESPN Eastern Time, of course. December 6th, Monday night. You are in Buffalo. The Bills are 7-4, second in the division. Patriots have overtaken them after the Bills lost to who did they lose to a couple weeks ago? The Texans. Someone terrible.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Shout out our Jags pals.
Duval,
absolutely. Fred Taylor and all that.
Nobody walks into Duval.
Nope.
Pushes them around.
Nope. Except Urban Meyer. Okay, so Patriots are 8-4, Buffalo 7-4. I'm gonna clickbait you right away. Is New England better than Buffalo? Yes or no?
No,
I don't think so either.
But it's pretty damn close.
It's a lot closer than I thought it was. I didn't think
Trey White injury is just huge.
Yep, massive.
That's big.
Massive.
I'm seeing some tweets out there with I believe I'm using this term right now. You might have to put me in my place here, but I'm seeing tremendous levels of cope from the Bills fans saying that he's a zone corner and that they can easily, he can be mad.
When he's playing, he's like the best corner in the league and no one appreciates him. As soon as he's out, it doesn't matter. You used that correctly, by the way. Good job.
Yes. Okay. Oh, by the way, Kendrick Bourne is PFF's 15th ranked wide receiver. Just something to keep an eye on. He is so
good. He can be your your very good second receiver. He can be your Robert Woods. I'm saying it. He can be your Robert Woods.
Well, when we were talking, when they first signed him, I was like, and having just previously before the signing watched a bunch of him, I was like, this is their new Julian Edelman.
Yep.
Like, this is him. Like, and everyone's like, nah, it's going to be Jacoby. Jacoby's their slot guy. And it turns out he really has been. And they use so much reduced split. It's impossible to determine, like, who's a true slot in this offense or whatever.
Yep.
But, like, Jacoby can't hold a candle to Kendrick Bourne in the agility department, the yak department, the contested catch department. None of it.
I think there is one area of being a receiver that Kendrick Bourne is not their best on the roster at. I think Nelson Aguilar gets off the line better than him.
Oh yeah, Nelson's their fastest guy for sure.
I don't even mean speed. I just mean like a release in terms of release off the line. Nelson Aguilar's got really good release off the line. He just doesn't do anything after that for the most part. Outside of that though, Kendrick Bourne is your like who you should be looking at in terms of Patriots wide receiver traits, like everywhere else. Okay,
I love New England's. How many more sidebars are we going to go?
I know.
I'm good for 3 more.
New England going to Buffalo. Bills are off a 10-day break. They beat the Saints 31-6 on Thanksgiving. I'm with you. I still don't. I think the Bills are still the second best team in the AFC. I think it's still Chiefs, and then I think it's still Bills. And now the Patriots, I think, have moved to that best of the rest. But I think those two are still a step above. But instead of being like Chiefs, Bills, Patriots, it's like Chiefs, Bills. Where's my camera? Chiefs, Bills, like Patriots now. Like I think a split is entirely reasonable. And you asked me entering the season with Cam, with Mac, I would not have pegged a split against Buffalo unless you get lucky because it's a division game and weird things can happen. Win this game specifically, Monday Night Football in Buffalo before your bye week. You win this game or you win it comfortably. My train's rolling. I know everyone else's train's rolling. I'll finally hop on board.
Yeah, I mean, and like you would catch hell for being late, but like that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Like there's no tangible proof right now that the Patriots are better than the Bills. If anybody wants to point to the Jags loss for Buffalo, whatever. All these teams are going to have dips and lulls and things.
And in reality, if you look at this 6-game win streak that the Patriots are on, you have the Jets in there, you have the Chargers in there, which was a big win at the time, and they have not looked good since. You have the Panthers, like the implosion week for the Panthers. The Browns win looked impressive and is getting less impressive by the day. Then you got the Falcons and you got a decimated Titans team. It's a lot of teams where you should be beating them, and it's great that you're beating them. You're establishing yourself as like, a good team. Those are the types of teams that you should be beating all of them if you want to consider yourself a good team. But I don't think any of them can cement you as a top tier contender yet. And I think Buffalo is firmly in a top tier contender status. Despite
I think like there are weird
losses they've had this year.
Yeah. I mean, and like we saw what Tennessee can do to you when, when they played Tennessee. Yep. Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans are a different football team, and it's just a fact of the matter. Like there is a narrative going around that the Patriots have lucked out on all these injuries that they face. They've gone and they've played
injured Baker,
right? First of all, injured Baker, schminjured Baker.
Yeah,
okay.
I said it after that week. A quarterback like Baker Mayfield isn't beating this defense as long as the offense doesn't get shut out.
Right. And Dearness Johnson is providing everything that you could possibly ask for from that in that offense. He was incredible that game.
Yep.
He was their only offense. And then obviously this Titans team that the Patriots hosted last weekend was bad. That offense is, they just didn't have the personnel. You don't have AJ Brown, you don't have Derrick Henry, or Julio Jones. It's a big, it sucks.
Didn't have your top 2 linebackers.
If those guys play, that it's a different game, and there's no doubt nobody can realistically say that the Patriots would still have the same result, or it wouldn't be much closer. Titans probably take that because Derrick Henry, if Derrick Henry gets going, they're a tough team to beat when they're at full.
I think there's 3 running backs in the league. I'm kind of conflicting with something you just said, but I think there's 3 running backs in the league that are like, in terms of purely as a rusher, difference makers right now is Derrick Henry, is Jonathan Taylor, and it's Nick Chubb. As pure rushers, not counting their pass, like Austin Eckler, I'd throw in that mix as a receiver. Great rusher, great receiver, difference maker.
I love Nick Chubb and I love Jonathan Taylor, but they're not Derrick Henry yet.
They're not Derrick Henry. I'm just saying different. I'd say those are 2 tiers.
And I'd go like Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb. Like Nick Chubb's great.
I have like Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, difference maker cutoff right here.
I think we're seeing Jonathan Taylor, like the light bulb went off for him at the end of last year, and then it's just been like road grader. But like we're seeing everything happen so much faster for him, and he's so fast, man. He's so fast for that size. It's gross. All right. Should we talk more about Kendrick Bourne?
Buffalo. We don't have an injury report yet. Game's on Monday night, so first injury report isn't required until tomorrow. Kyle Duggar did get added to the COVID list today. I didn't see if he confirmed is vaccinated, but if he is vaccinated, he can still play this Monday. He just would need 2 negative tests 24 hours apart. So if he is vaccinated, there's still time, not definitely out. If he's not vaccinated, he's going to be out. If anyone's seen a confirmation whether he's vaccinated or not, wild times that we're in to be talking about this. But let me know in the comments because I didn't see it last I had checked. That would be a big loss. No Kyle Duggar here. But in general, how do we feel about this game? Is there a particular matchup that you are excited for, either like Patriots can exploit or just as a football fan excited for? Is there anything that scares you as a Patriots fan here? What are we looking at here?
I can tell you what scares me for sure, and it's Steph Diggs. Like Steph Diggs is insane. Steph Diggs he's been insane. If there's another player in this league, if there's another player in this league that I stand harder. If there's one that I stand harder than Steph Diggs, let me know.
Brian, what you are? You know what you are? You're a route running simp, and I'm with you. You're a route running simp. It's Amari Cooper, I'm Amari Cooper, but Stephon Diggs, Kendrick Bourne, route running simp. I love it.
Give me all of it, man. And like, I mean, the contested catch. The last time I remember him playing, when he was with Minnesota and he's playing against, I believe it was 2017. Or 2018 maybe, and he was injured. He's coming off of a tough leg injury, and he was still like out there grinding and beating Stephon Gilmore on plays, and they ended up winning the game. J.C. Jackson had like a big coming out party that game against like Adam Thielen, and I don't know. Steph Diggs rocks, man, and he killed them last year, and he's everything to their offense right now, and he's as close to an unstoppable opposing wide receiver as you've got in the league right now.
He was the matchup last year that had everyone going, all right, so J.C. Jackson's not a cornerback one. That was the game. It was the 2 games against the Bills. Right. He ended up, J.C. Jackson had to take on Diggs both times, and he got torched, and everyone was like, all right, so J.C.'s a very good 2. J.C.'s proved that wrong this year, of course, but
right.
That is the matchup that scares me the most as well.
I still don't know. I don't care about interception numbers. I don't. He's always around the ball. Oh, you've got to say there's something to it, right? He's always around the ball. He's very, very good. I don't know if he's CB1 yet. He is on for New England, obviously. But I don't know if he's on that stratosphere yet. His agent's taking those interception numbers right to the bank.
Absolutely.
And hey, go for it, bud. Go for it. But there are so many tip balls and so many
he's definitely had interception luck going. If we're saying CB1, technically that just means he has to be a top 32 CB cornerback. Obviously, he's that. We're talking about real cornerback 1, top 10, top 12 ish.
Right.
He's probably right on the fringe of that. I haven't grinded the tape into dust enough to have a list like that, but I'd say he's right on the fringe of that, if not in there. So I want to talk about this real quick. I've had this take for years. I think the Bills organization in general is like a top 3 run organization since they poached the Panthers, basically. The goal is at the top, kind of hit or miss. That you follow hockey, they have a lot of issues in hockey, but they seem to be running the Bills pretty well.
Pagula's got a lot of problems off the court.
But it seems like they handle the Bills pretty well. Brandon Beane's a great GM. Sean McDermott's a great coach. They have great assistants. Brian Daboll's there. They're a disciplined team for the most part. They've gotten the development that they've had for Josh Allen is just incredible. Credit to him as well, but you don't get that if he ends up in Chicago or something.
Right.
They are one of the, I'd say, 3 best run organizations since McDermott and Brandon Beane's been there. It's like the Patriots, the Bills, and Steelers, Packers, whoever you want. Probably Steelers. Not that they've been particularly good, but
they're drafting pretty well. Like Ed Oliver's like starting to find it, you know, and they're utilizing him. How they're utilizing him, kind of how we figured they would. He's learning. You got guys like what is the deal with Epinesa? Is he hurt? Or is he still? Or is he? I thought I saw that he was hurt. I don't know. Again, I don't know what.
I think an injury report today. So he hurt his foot back in October. I don't know where he's at now. Here we go. Dark Blue Gold. They traded up. The Bills traded up directly in front of the Patriots to take Dawson Knox, and then Dawson Knox, and then the Patriots immediately traded back, indicating they probably want to take Dawson Knox. I love Dawson Knox coming out. I'm in on any Ole Miss weapon. Dawson Knox
can't say no to Ole Miss anymore, right?
No, after AJ, AJ, DK, Elijah Moore, Dawson. Moore. They just don't miss. They don't miss. Yes, the girl from Ipanema. Dawson Knox. I don't know that I'm scared of him in this matchup because the Patriots have handled tight ends really well this year. But he is very good, and I love Dawson Knox. So shout out Dawson Knox. I don't know that he is like a Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle type matchup nightmare where even though the Patriots are really good against tight ends, I'm going to fear him. But he is very good, and he could hurt you.
The matchup I am most excited about here coming up is Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, that tandem against Mac. Against how they disguise their rotations, how they disguise their blitzes. I'm interested to see how they handle Mac because they play a ton. There is going to be a ton of. They do a ton of cover 3 and cover 1 man, and that's been what most teams are doing against New England. And Mac's clearly showing he's picking up on patterns and tendencies pretty quickly. These are 2 guys, these safeties. Mac's going to see these guys for a few more years to come. You'd expect. I mean, and they're still producing at like a super high level. Obviously, no Trey White is huge deal. But I'm really
the pairing of them is kind of entering that Robert Woods territory, where every time they come up, and any analyst will be like, "Oh my God, they're so underrated," to the point where they're probably talked about enough that they're properly rated. But they're really good.
I feel like that's like every safety though, like every AFC safety, like Jesse
other
Bates,
than Jamal Adams, who is actually bad at football, is like, oh, that's an underrated safety.
Kevin Byard happened for forever, and it was still happening after like an All-Pro selection or a second team All-Pro selection.
Both Justin Reed, Justin Simmons.
Yep, it's like if you are a safety who gets franchise tagged, like for sure.
Yep.
Tony Jefferson it happened with. I remember Tony Jefferson was all when
Arizona and then Baltimore and then bad.
Yep. He's still in the league, by the way, I think.
Is he?
I think so. He might be on a practice squad somewhere. You know how when COVID started, they started doing like anybody can be on a practice squad. I think he might be on a practice squad.
He is on the 49ers now. Yep. I remember when he was on Setting the Edge back in the day, and it was like one of the more awkward interviews of all time. He was like playing Madden while playing. Anyway. All right, so we're of course it's me and Brian. We're going long here, but final thoughts on the game. Don't give a prediction yet. We'll save it for the end. But give me one more matchup. Give me one more. I don't even want an explanation. Like, give me one more matchup and give me like excited or nervous.
don't give you excited or nervous, or give you excited?
Give me excited or nervous. Don't give me any reasoning behind it. Just like drop a take and walk out.
Ed Oliver, Shaq Mason.
Okay, excited or nervous?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. I think that's the correct answer. All right, let's get into segments. The second down. We got a little holiday themed segments going on here tonight. First off, we're going to do our retroactive thankful for Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for. So we're going to have, I'm going to switch this over here. I have 3. I don't know if you wrote any down, Brian. If you can get to 3, we'll just bounce back and forth here.
Okay.
They're going to be sports themed. At least I kept mine sports themes. They're not all Patriots. Actually, I think these might all be Patriots, but they didn't have to all be Patriots. I think I gave you the category just sports themed. So, Brian, what is the first thing that you were thankful for this Thanksgiving season?
I am thankful for Kendrick Bourne. I legitimately wrote that down, and I knew I would take it from you, and I own it now, and it's mine. I might not own the player, but I own you right now. I own you right there. Kendrick Bourne. Let's talk another 30 minutes about Kendrick Bourne. Okay.
All right.
That's number 1 for me.
All right, fine. My number 1 was also Kendrick Bourne. So my number 1 is that second Kendrick Bourne touchdown from Sunday then, because that was just so fun. And it was actually ruined for me because I have an ongoing battle with my home insurance about a boiler. And they happened to call me directly as that touchdown was happening. So I had just muted the TV. I just started talking to them, and like 2 plays later, that play happened.
Timeout. I want to hear a little bit more about this. This is the kind of content that I'm into right here. Okay.
We'll keep it quick. I had to get my boiler. So I bought a home a year ago. I closed on it just over a year ago. I moved in just under a year ago. It was a quick close out. It was like a month between signing and moving in. So I didn't, we're in crazy market right now. I didn't require an inspection, and I knew that there was going to be something come along with it that I had to fix. I was okay with it. The boiler.
Get a home warranty.
Yes, I got a home warranty.
Love
that's who I'm fighting with. Got the home warranty just to cover my ass. The boiler pretty much. So I have a dual furnace boiler, so it does my heat and my hot water, or my heat and my water, because I have forced hot water heating, so it does both. It was old. I knew it was old. I was hoping that I'd be able to replace parts, and everyone that I had come out was like, "No, you need to replace the whole thing. It's an out of commission boiler or combo." Okay. So they couldn't order a replacement one. The parts are super expensive.
This sounds like a perfect scenario. This is what you're looking for. You want something to completely explode. We are waiting for the furnace and the AC, which are original to this home, to go. We're praying they go.
It was the exact home buyer situation. Something goes wrong immediately. So I created an issue, got the home warranty. This is what I got it for. I was like, cool, no worries. I'm gonna get it replaced. I'll have it covered. It's gonna be great. It turns into this. I created this issue in January. Didn't get anyone out for the first time until March. Didn't get an approval from the home insurance until July. Luckily, at this point, so the issue with the combo was the magnetic switch that switches it between heat and hot water, and it just died on the hot water. So my heat was still coming in a little bit because the hot water would also move through the pipes. So I would still get some heat, and I still got hot water, and then it stayed that way through the summer. So it really didn't impact me at all here, which was why why it dragged out.
Could have been worse. Yeah, could have been stuck on cold.
Exactly. So it was okay. It was just a ton of a mess. Because prices of material are so high right now, I was like, I can't afford to replace this unless I get more covered from my warranty than they're currently covering. So because of all the issues, they bounced me between different contractors. I call them up and I'm like, okay, hey, you guys have been kind of, effing me around here. I need more money covered. Can you escalate this? Have someone look at it, see if I can get more.
Yeah.
They go from covering about $2,000 to approving $6,500. Big jump. Yes. Big jump. Great jump. The combo boilers are so expensive and material is so expensive, and I had to get all the pipes refitted. So I still ended up having to pay out of pocket. Paying out of pocket, but an amount that I could handle.
You're always going to get the out of pocket stuff, but so that's big time.
That approval came through in late August. My contractor just got out in November because he was so booked up. Again, it was fine. I knew he was super busy. It wasn't an emergency, so I was okay letting him get through stuff. He comes out, replaces it. Everything's good. New boiler's working great. No issues with it. Everything's good. He calls me. He comes back because there was like one little issue with a sensor that he just needed a part to fix. He needed a new thing.
I don't like the sound of that.
No, the boiler's still good. That's not the issue.
Okay.
The home warranty place is now saying that they had no record of approving the amount that they approved, and that I'm on the hook for the $4,500 difference between what they initially approved and what they did approve. So I brought it up I was like, hey, when he came back out, I was like, hey, so is everything good with the home warranty side? Just making sure, expecting him to say yeah and not worry about it again. He was like, he explained this situation to me. I was like, what are you talking about? So he was like, yeah, I don't know. He forwarded me the approval, back when they approved it. Right. He forwarded it to me. You could see the form. It very clearly approved for $6,500. So I called them up. I was like, what are you guys talking about? They were like, we have no record of approving that. We approved $2,000. You're on the hook for the rest. Like, nope, that's not the deal. The warranty place that I use has a contractor side and a customer side, and they don't interact and they don't branch.
Of course they don't.
So that confusion can happen on purpose. So on their side, they're saying, oh yeah, we have the approval, but it's expired. So my contractor was like, that's BS. Was BS. They have already backed down. I ended up having to get in contact with someone from their side after spending all last week while I was off work, fighting with them, trying to talk to someone, finally get in touch with someone. I sent over the form that the contractor sent me that very clearly states $6,500. They are reviewing it now. He already said if it's a mistake they made, then they have to eat it. It is a mistake they made. They're going to have to eat it, but I've been dealing with that.
Man, I tell you what.
I'll tell you what's going to happen if they tell me that I am on the hook for that $4,500. They are never getting that $4,500.
Let's go, baby.
Okay.
Also, way to sound off in the comments, guys. We love the support.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
All right. So was that a thankful for? Or
I wasn't thankful for any of that. I don't know how we got here. That was the first thankful for, though. Because I was thankful for Kendrick Bourne's touchdown. I was on the phone with them because of it.
That's right.
So that was my first thankful for. What is your second thankful for?
Shaquille Mason.
Okay. Absolutely.
Every year this happens. We get so excited about the Patriots offensive line. We get so excited about I feel like, and everybody loves David Andrews. He's great. Everybody, I am guilty of falling into the overwhelming Mike Onwenu love, the Joe Tooney love for years. Isaiah Wynn, first round pick. Yep. Shaq Mason's been just doing his thing for years. Just a top 10 guard in the league. If you take
the collective value of everyone on their offensive line for the lifespan they've been on the Patriots, Shaq Mason blows everyone else away. It's Shaq Mason, David Andrews, everyone else. And
signing the team-friendly deals, been really healthy the last few years. He misses like one game a year, I feel like.
You remember Trey Jackson?
Same. Yeah, I remember Trey Jackson.
It was like, okay, great. They've got the great passing guard who's got no knees. They've got the great rushing guard who they're going to teach. Dante Starnecki is going to do his magic, and they're going to have their two guards for the next decade. And then Trey Jackson lasted like 17 seconds.
Yeah,
Shaq Mason worked out great.
Was like the fourth rounder who wasn't invited to the Senior Bowl. What the hell? Is super versatile. Comes from Georgia Tech. Comes from the wing tee, all the crazy stuff.
Trey Flowers in that draft as well. That was a great middle round. All three of them drafted after Geno Grissom.
Oh man, talk about not a guy I'm not thankful for. I love you, Gino, but
great name.
No,
great name. Probably not a
You're
great
not coming anywhere near my
name.
holiday wish
list.
Been
a great baseball player name, like Marquise Grissom's younger brother or something that plays in the late 2000s instead of the 90s and early 2000s.
Oh, Marquise Grissom was a G.
Yeah.
And then Shaq Mason. I remember that 2015 AFC Championship game in Denver, where it was just a disaster against Von Miller and Malik Jackson.
Yep.
And like Shaq Mason's just
they said they had no offensive players left. It was like an injured Gronk and Edelman, and then no offensive line other than Mason. Yep.
And Mason's just like trying to hold his own. Brian Stork's tipping the snap count to Malik Jackson.
Brian Stork.
Yeah. And then
thank God. I'm thankful for he's not on my list. I'm now thankful for David Andrews because I forgot about Brian Stork completely, and David Andrews allowed that to happen.
Marcus Cannon, just an absolute turnstile at right tackle the whole game. But out of the ashes comes a young Shaq Mason.
Yep.
So I'm thankful for that, man.
My second thankful for is the 1 p.m. games to end the season, because I am an old man. These run of primetime games are killing me. We've got, obviously a Saturday night game isn't quite as bad as like a Monday or Thursday night game, Sunday night game, but still not loving these late start times that we've been on a run of here. So they end the season. They got Monday night this week, bye week, Saturday night the week after that, and then they got 1 p.m. to finish the season. Considering that we're looking at playoffs, which would be more hopefully primetime games, I'm thankful for those 1 p.m. games. And Brian, what is your third thankful for here?
Along those same lines, actually, I'm thankful for the Saturday night game on the 18th, getting that primetime look, because, man, last year was tough. This year it's been pretty tough. The Patriots were the national game on CBS last week because they were, they're starting to become prominent again. And the second they do, people, they get those Patriots games out there. But, man, living in Central Ohio with the Browns and the Steelers and the Bengals all in one area where they're all playing each other every week, it doesn't matter what's on the national game. Even if the Patriots are on there, it's always butting up against one of those teams, and I never get to see it. So I always have to go to the generic chain restaurant bar and watch it on their direct TV with just some truly undesirable people. And it's just bad. And any primetime game I can get my hands on are nationally televised where I can watch it here. And then the biggest byproduct of this is I get my Sunday red zone chill day.
That is nice. Like the Thursday night game, and you get your Sunday game. Yeah, you get to just hang out on Sunday. Those are nice every once in a while.
I love just sitting and watching Red Zone for like 4 or 5 hours on Sunday.
I'll throw out something I'm not thankful for. Completely going against the spirit here. I'm not thankful that Tom Brady is still in the league, because I exclusively, this is a local to New England problem. If he plays at the same time as the Patriots, that's your doubleheader game. You don't get like, I love Patriots play at 1. You got 2 4 p.m. games to bounce between. I didn't go red zone this year. Rookie mistake, but save a little money there.
Rookie mistake. You got the boiler issue going.
Yeah, exactly. Save a little money this year. So having, Patriots play at 1, you get the 2 4 p.m. games going. But no, the Bucs play on the East Coast. They're usually at 1 as well. They are always the other game here. And then you only got 1 4 p.m. game. And you got to hope it's a good one. And it's usually not. So that's what I'm not thankful for. Let's wrap this segment up here, Brian. What's the last thing you are thankful for?
That was my third one.
That was your third one? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Kendrick Bourne, because I win.
Yep.
Kendrick Bourne, Shaq Mason, and the Saturday night.
That's right.
Time.
My bad. Okay. My last thankful for is that in a season where there's been 6 rookie quarterbacks who have seen, I won't say significant in Trey Lance's case, but seen time, the Jets managed to take the worst of the 6 second overall. I'm incredibly thankful for that.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yep. It's beautiful, especially as it's looking like the Patriots might have taken one of the 2 or 3 best when he was QB5.
Yep.
And you didn't have to trade up for him. All right. That ends the thankful for segment. In the holiday theme, again, we are going to move on to a holiday wish list. We're inclusive here at 3 and Out. So if you are not celebrating Christmas, you're celebrating some other holiday, I wish you happy holidays. We're going to put our wish list together here, though, Brian. So similar idea. You're going to give me 3 things. We'll bounce back and forth that you want to see on your wish list moving forward. Again, this is sports themed. Doesn't have to be Patriots themed. Most of mine are. But what is the first thing on your holiday wish list?
The big one for me, I'm a Michigan fan.
Mm-hmm.
First trip to the Big Ten championship. I want a Big Ten championship. Let's go blue. Last Saturday was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool experience.
Big upset.
Yeah.
You were telling us in the group chat that like 20 minutes later, you were still convinced that they could lose the game somehow.
Oh, it's still a little iffy for me. But, a Michigan fan living in Central Ohio, this is, marrying a woman from Central Ohio, whole family, Ohio State. It was big. So I'd love a Big Ten championship for Go Blue.
Okay. My first thing on my holiday wish list is that Matt Judon Defensive Player of the Year prediction to come true. He is like right on the cusp. He just keeps racking up sacks, and Myles Garrett ends up being a monster. Now PFF is trying to get a J.C. Jackson Defensive Player of the Year going when he's not the best defensive player on the Patriots. He's not the most deserving defensive player of the year on the Patriots. It's Matt Judon. It's Matt Judon.
People love those interceptions, man.
Myles Garrett is the defensive player of the year right now. I need him to either fall off a cliff, which isn't going to happen because he's Myles Garrett. I don't want him to get injured. Maybe he bonks someone on the head again and gets suspended a few games. I think that'd be very funny. So let's go with that. Matt Judon, sets the team record, ends up with like 17 sacks. Myles Garrett misses a few games here, and we end up with a Matt Judon Defensive Player of the Year. That's what I want. That's first thing on my holiday wish list. What is your second?
My second is simply Garrett Wilson.
Okay, I like it,
and that is all. Garrett Wilson is insane, and all the talk around here is that's the guy. Even with how good Jackson Smith-Njigba is. Even with how awesome Chris Olave is, we know how much
you can't be a Chris Olave. You can't be a Chris Olave fan after he was a first-round pick for 2 years straight. First year he wasn't eligible to come out. Last year he finally is, and he says, "No, I'm going to go back." And then he doesn't even He's not going to make the playoff. He's not in the Big Ten championship game. What is he doing?
Loser.
Massive red flag. I love Chris Olave, and he is dead.
Huge red flag. Garrett Wilson, Garrett Wilson's body control, we saw it in the touchdown last weekend. His body control, his burst, everything, it's all there. Stud. Garrett Wilson.
All right, my second one, and some people might say here, "Hey Ryan, you're aiming a little low here. If it's a wish list, 4-1 finish to the season. Why not 5-0? Because if you go 4-1, you're winning the division. I'm basically saying I want a division title. You split with the Bills and you don't lose any of your other 3 games, you're winning the division. So give me 4-1. The one can be against the Bills. That's fine. Ideally, it's not. I don't want to lose to the Colts either. Maybe throw a Jags loss in there. Just balance it out with the Bills. If it's going to be if we're going to pick the one here, but 4-1 finish to the season. You'll finish the year 12-5. You will win the division. You will be in the mix for the 1 seed. Probably not going to get it. The Chiefs are probably going to go on a run here, I think. But all right, sorry, Matt. But yeah, give me a 4-1 finish to the season and a division title here. And what is the third thing on your holiday wish list?
Well, if I put down Chris Godwin, it would take until next spring to potentially get him.
Right.
But since I already have Garrett Wilson, I would like to bring back Chandler Jones.
Okay.
Free agent, 2022 free agent. Why not? Oh, you know what? Chris Jones or Brandon Graham. Bring Brandon Graham home to his Michigan brethren.
Okay.
And let him eat and finish out his career with another ring with Mac Jones. And Brandon Graham just rocks.
Okay. And that was your third one, correct?
Yes.
All right. And my last one, and this is the only non-Patriots one on my list. Give me a Rafael Devers extension, please, Red Sox. Extend him. Give him a lifetime contract.
Do it.
That'll do it. So we're going to have Dave Latham come in as we transition into third down here and get into some trivia time. I just sent him the link, so he'll hopefully be hopping in here in a second. So in the meantime, if you have any questions for me or Brian, feel free to send them in until Dave gets here. We'll answer one or two. I'm going to go through some of these holiday wish list comments as well. Newcastle victory, 14 games winless. Every other team in Premier League history has been relegated. That is tough. They just got a new owner, right? Newcastle. Oliver Inwards. I need a Ramondre 70-yard touchdown on Monday Night Football. That'd be fun. I'd be all in on that.
Same, by the way. We're
fun.
Me and Ryan are both experiencing some issues of tremendous talent on the rosters and it's not formulating into victories.
We're not gonna we'll pull Dave in because I know Dave is a fantasy guy. Dave, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, guys. How are you?
Good. I appreciate you hopping on.
Recently
crying about fantasy.
Certified engineer in the state of Maine.
Hell yeah.
That's correct. Just this morning I got the call. I'm a licensed professional engineer.
Hell yeah. Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats.
This Mainer will be designing your bridges and community centers.
Let's get it.
Maine folk.
Now bridges aren't really my expertise, but community centers definitely.
Now all we need is people in Maine.
Exactly. We're getting there.
Dave is helping us build back better.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get into trivia. Dave, first time on the show. Welcome. If everyone, you better know Dave. If you don't, follow him on Twitter at DLPatsThoughts. Great writer. I apologize. I had it and it's out of my head. What's the site?
Last Word on Sports.
Last Word on Sports. Thank you. I had it. I was ready for it. And as soon as you came on, my mind went blank.
It took me a second too. So
Last Word on Sports does great stuff. Some fantasy, some Patriots, a little bit around the NFL, a little bit of everything. Got some great takes. Was wrong on Mac Jones, just like the rest of us.
Proud to be wrong about that one.
Proud to be wrong on Mac Jones. All right. So Dave, here's how Trivial works. First of all, Brian's very bad at it. So you are going to be representing the audience team. The audience team is 0-2, but we've had 2 good showings. So you could get their first win and continue the streak. Continue the good showings against Brian here, and you might get the first win. So it is 6 rounds. Each round is going to have a category. You'll each get a question. You'll have 30 seconds to answer your question. You get it right, you get a point. You get it wrong, your opponent can steal. They'll have about 10 seconds to answer. I'm not super strict with the buzzer. They get it, they get a point. Keep track of score. After 6 rounds, whoever has the most points wins. If it's a tie, I have a tiebreaker question.
All right.
We had the first ever overtime last time. So Dave, as the guest and as technically the lower seed, given that the audience are winless and Brian is a stunning 1-4 record, I'm gonna flip a coin off screen here, a little app, and I'm gonna have you call it in the air in 3, 2, 1.
Tails.
Tails is flipping. It is heads. So Brian, would you like to go first or second? You want the ball?
Let's go.
All right. So
I'd also like to say our record is not who we are. Okay.
Okay. That's fair because Spags is winless, and he put up what would have been a record-breaking performance last week if he was like 200 yards closer on Wes Welker's Patriot.
Variance, baby. Variance.
Brian going for 6 in a row. All right. So, Brian, you're going first. Dave, you're going second. So this order is correct. Dave and Brian, I'm going to have you go to the private chat tab of StreamYard over on the right here.
No cheating.
Because the comments, the audience is going to play along in the comments as well. So we just want to make sure they can play along. No cheating. So you guys both there? You're good?
I think so, yeah.
All right, cool. So we're going to get into it now. So Brian, you will have the first question. When I'm done reading the question, you'll have 30 seconds. I'll remind you as you're getting close. And here we go. So round 1 is the matchup. So it's New England versus Buffalo. Any players listed, any players mentioned, is their numbers, any stats I'm looking for is only in regards to New England playing Buffalo. So anything they listed on the career doesn't matter. It's just in games where New England played Buffalo. Okay. Brian, your question. The Bills swept the 2020 matchup against the Patriots. Who was their head coach? Who was the Bills' head coach in 1999? The last time they swept both matchups in a single season.
Marv Levy.
Final answer?
Yes.
That is incorrect. Dave, you have 10 seconds for the steal.
Wade Phillips.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Oh, Dave, you're right on the board. 1-0 instant steal.
This should go well.
Yeah, maybe your record is what they say you are, Brian. All right, Wade Phillips is the correct answer. Dave, for the round 1 steal, double sweep, or for the sweep, of round 1. The Bills swept the 2020 matchup against the Patriots. Who was their quarterback in 1999, the last time they swept both matchups in a single season?
I want to say that would have been Rob Johnson.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is incorrect. Brian, to get your point back here, 10 seconds.
Was that Doug Flutie?
Final answer?
Final answer.
We have a double steal, folks. That was massive for Brian here. It was Doug Flutie.
Let's go.
It was 50-50. I thought Johnson had more time than that.
They
proof momentum doesn't exist.
The Bills won 3 straight games against the Patriots. It was the 2 in 1999, and then I think the last one in 98. And it was the same for all 3.
How are we doing in the comments?
Let's see how the comments did here. No correct answers. Brian, we do have a Brian regretting taking the ball already comment here, though.
Fair.
Oliver was with you on Marv Levy, so you weren't alone here. All right, round 2, Monday Night Football. So again, any stats, anything like that, the question's going to be clear, but it just has to do with Monday Night Football performances. Brian, question for you. Which currently active former MVP quarterback has thrown for the most passing touchdowns in a single game on Monday night since the merger, 1970?
Is this Bills Patriots or all?
Nope, this is all.
Currently active former MVP.
Let's reset the timer.
Which currently active former MVP.
So still playing is not the current MVP.
Oh my God. He's on a roster somewhere.
10 seconds.
Cam Newton.
Final answer?
Yes.
That is incorrect. Dave, 10 seconds for the steal.
I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. Final answer.
That is also incorrect. The correct answer is Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
he had 6 touchdowns in that 54-51 Chiefs-Rams Monday Night Football game in Mexico in 2018.
Huh. So that Rodgers game against the Texans, that must have been Sunday Night Football.
Could have been.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, your question. You can then for the steal. Okay, or not the steal to go up 2-1. Which currently active former MVP quarterback has thrown for the most passing yards in a single game on Monday night since the merger, which was 1970?
It wouldn't be Mahomes again. I'm going to go... Actually, I'll go Tom Brady.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Dave has a 2-1 lead. It absolutely was Tom Brady. He had 517 yards in the 2011 season opener in Miami. It was the Wes Welker 99-yard touchdown game.
517 yards.
517. 2011.
Not a bad day at the office.
No, pretty decent. All right, so Dave is up 2-1 here after 2 rounds. Brian's still in it. But Dave is continuing the trend of the audience having good performances here, which I appreciate because it would suck to pull an audience in and they just stink. All right, category is the Bills. So again, just Bills history. The question here is pretty straightforward, so it won't be too difficult. Brian, or too confusing. Brian, your question to tie the game back up. Since the merger, again, 1970, the Bills have the same top 3 for career receiving yards and receiving touchdowns in the same order. Andre Reed is first in both categories. Eric Moulds is second. Who is third? 30 seconds.
Lee Evans.
Final answer?
Final answer.
It's a good pull, Brian. It is Lee Evans. Tie game here, 2-2. Dave, would you have gotten that one?
I was going Stevie Johnson.
Pat's pulpit Bills correspondent, Brian Phillips.
Stevie Johnson would have been a good guess. I don't think he had quite a long enough of a stretch, but the Bills also aren't like a wide receiver team. So, all right, Dave, to take your lead back. Since the merger, 1970, the Bills have the same top 3 for career rushing yards and rushing touchdowns in the same order. Thurman Thomas is first. O.J. Simpson is second. Who is third?
Marshawn wasn't around long enough. Fred Jackson.
Final answer?
Final answer.
I thought that was going to be a tough one. Good answer. Good answer is correct.
Boom!
3-2 lead. Brian, would you have gotten that one?
I absolutely would not have gotten that one. Yes,
I was
Fred Jackson. Okay. I would have. I'll do anything for Fred Jackson.
I've said this before on the show. I typically try to think of things I know and then go turn them into trivia questions. I forgot Fred Jackson was a human being. That shocked me. I had the Lee Evans one. That made sense to me. I thought Fred Jackson was going to be much harder. So shout out you guys then. All right, 3-2, halfway through, 3-2. Still very much anyone's game. 6 questions left. Round 4 is outlandish contracts. Outlandish contracts.
Oh, okay.
Albert Hainsworth, final answer.
First question. Albert Hainsworth signed for 7 years, $100 million. He only played 2 seasons for the team that signed him. Who was the team, Brian? 30 seconds.
That was the Washington football team.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is correct. I'm not going to make you say the now defunct name. It was the Washington football team. Played 2 seasons there, was released, ended up here for like a week. Not a good million. Stomped. Didn't he stomp on someone before Ndamukong Suh did? Or you got arrested? Something
yeah. He stomped on I think it was Stafford.
Yeah.
He's a generally unsavory dude.
Yeah.
All right. Dave, again, get your lead back here. Tie game now, 3-3. Lost scoring going on. I think that's only one point that's fallen to the ground so far. D'Angelo Hall signed for 7 years, $70 million. He only played 8 games for the team that signed him. Who was the team?
I think that's also Washington.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is incorrect. Brian for the steal.
What do I have? Like 10 seconds?
5 now. Need your answer in like 3.
Oakland?
2. Final answer?
Final answer.
Brian, that is massive. It is Oakland. It is the Raiders. Signed 7 years, $70 million, and they cut him in like week 9.
I was like 8 games. Did he play 8 games for Oakland?
So that is a massive double steal for Brian. Takes the lead right back. He's looking for his first win. He's now got the lead going into the final.
False.
2
I'm
categories.
looking for my second win.
Second win. I apologize. Looking for his second win. He has beaten the winless Spags. Brian, typically, Dave, not to put the pressure on you, typically rounds 5 and 6 is where Brian makes a comeback attempt and falls just short. This is usually where he gets rolling. So
correct.
Category 5. Oh, we got some hype for Brian in the chat. Brian train back on the rails. Big brain Phillips.
Let's go,
all right,
baby.
Dave. Big category here. It's the Patriots.
All right.
Seems like it should be a category people get. It's been a struggle. I think this is a gettable category here this week. Or gettable questions here this week. Brian, to extend your lead. As of week 12, the end of week 12, who is the Patriots' leading receiver by yards?
Kendrick Bourne.
Final answer?
Final answer.
By about 3 yards, the answer.
I thought you were going to try to psych me out.
Yep.
Nelson Aguilar, number 2.
Nope. Kobe.
Jacoby's number 2, right?
Oh, I forget he exists.
Yeah, they're like 9 yards apart. Nelson's like 200 yards behind them, and Henry's like 50 yards.
They're like 9 yards per target apart.
Yep. Especially Jacoby has like as many catches as Kendrick Bourne has targets, and Bourne has more yards. Kobe has like 100 targets on the season. It's insane. All right, Dave, this is a big one. Keep serve here. Go to the final category, down 1. As of week 12, who is the Patriots' leading tackler?
Leading tackler. I'm going to go Bentley.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is incorrect, Brian. This could be a big steal. You beat Dormy. You wouldn't be able to lose before overtime.
Adrian Phillips.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Let's see if the chat that is incorrect. Oh yeah, the chat was all over this one. I was nervous that he came up today as Kyle Duggar.
Okay, it is Duggar. Okay,
I wanted to talk about Duggar today, and then the COVID protocols came up, so I was nervous that the tackle note was going to come up in a conversation here. Luckily, we dodged it. Apparently, falls to the floor. Duggar has 80, and I think I forget who, but someone's like 2 or 3 tackles behind him. All right, we are entering the last category. Brian, you're up by 2 points. Oh, so you would have won the game there. I said you would have been dormied. You were dormied. Now you would have won the game.
I was between him and Duggar.
So here's the deal, Dave. 3 points is a good showing. You only get 6 opportunities if your opponent is getting everything right. 3 is nothing to sneeze at. You're going to need Brian to get this wrong. You're going to need to steal it, and then you need to get your own question right as well. Otherwise, Brian is getting his second win on the season. Category is college football. Dave, I did tip you off a little bit that this was coming. Tough one. I'm gonna ask the first question, and then I have a little background here. Okay, Brian, for the win, should be right up your alley. This is gonna be catastrophic if you get this wrong. Since 2000, including 2021, how many times has Michigan beaten Ohio State?
Why do we? Three. Final answer.
That is incorrect. Dave.
All right.
10 seconds for the steal.
Let's say 4.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Hey, Brian, do you think it's 4?
It's probably 4.
It's 4. It's 4. Dave is right back in the mix here.
Wait. Oh, no. Did I not count this year? Oh, no. Well, this year's still up in the air. We're still not sure about this year.
Yeah, we're still not sure. The years were 2000, 2003, 2011, and 2021. All right. So here's the deal. I initially had 2 Michigan questions because I thought Spags was going to be on. You guys are both Michigan boys. Spags couldn't. Dave hop in for us, but Dave knows next to nothing about college football. Well, so I tried to rewrite this last minute to make it not 2 Michigan questions. So Dave, college football, you get it right. You're going to overtime. We'll have 2 straight overtimes. Brian will be on the brink of collapse. Your question, 30 seconds on the clock. Since 2010, including 2021, how many times has LSU beaten Alabama? You have 30 seconds.
Oh, boy. I'm going to say 3.
Final answer?
Final answer. Why not? Wait, really?
Brian.
Oh, man.
Brian.
Oh, my God. That was dumb luck.
It was 2019 when they won the national championship. It was 2011 when they beat them in the regular season and then lost to them in the national championship. And then 2010.
Yeah, I knew Burrow beat Tua. That's the only one I knew for sure.
We're fine.
Matt, Dave, audience is on your side. You are the audience team representative, so I'd hope they would be. But
how are we doing in the chat? Okay.
The chat's fully Team Dave at this point. All right. Great showing. 5-5 score. We're entering the tiebreaker for the second straight week. So here's how the tiebreaker works. You guys are going to get 1 question. You guys are both going to answer it. It's not a race. It's going to be, I'm going to ask for a number. You're going to give me your best guess at the number. Whoever is closer to the correct answer wins. Okay? There's no Price is Right rules. You can go over. If you are 5 units over and someone's 10 units under, you win. Do you guys have a piece of paper or anything you could write it down on?
Give me 1 sec.
Yep.
I'm not nervous. I do not have nerves here about this. Everything is fine. We're doing great.
Brian's
I can't believe I didn't count this year's game.
That is if
in my total. I'm like, yeah, it's 3. It's got to be 3. Am I psyching myself out? No, it's got to be 3. 3.
That'll just be a cat. I'm pulling for Dave so that we can have that story.
I should have had Flutie, so it's like a wash.
All right, here we go. Okay, so again, you're gonna write down your number. I'm not gonna let you go forever, but I'll give you enough time to think about it and get it written down. I'm going to ask you the question. You're going to write down the number. When you guys are done, I'm going to have you hold up the number, read it out loud just so everyone's aware. I'll do the quick math, and then we'll determine a winner here. Your question is, how many rushing yards did Corey Dillon have in his Patriots career? I'm not setting the timer. I'm going to give you guys about a minute to think about it. Write it down when you're ready, and just let me know when you're ready. Chat, I want you guys to also write it down. Save your comments until we're revealing everything. Think about it, have it ready to go, and then after they reveal theirs, I want the chat flooding with answers. Dave looks like he's got his.
Dave's already done.
Yeah, it's, just kind of rough napkin math, but I think I got a good answer. Actually, no, I'm too low. Hold on.
Dark blue gold. Here's my standard joke about the contestants adding up all the yards one by one.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, you guys ready? All right, hold it up. I don't think we're going to be able to read it, but we got to do the dramatics anyway. Hold it up. Brian, we sure can't read that. Brian, what do you have? 586?
Yep.
Is that what we're looking at? Dave, 3,000.
3,350.
All right, Brian, Dave wins.
Dillon was only there 3 years, man.
I do the math, but Dave just wins. Dave, what was your guess again?
3,350. I know he only went over 1,000 in 2004. He was only there 2 more years. Average about 600 a pop. Round up a little bit, you got 3,350.
You were remarkably close. The answer is 3,180.
Okay, so I crossed out 3,150. I thought I was being too safe with that one, and I went up.
Folks, that is just a full-on collapse here. Brian doesn't count the win that we talked about earlier tonight, and that just happened on Saturday. And then he more than doubles Corey Dillon's career rushing total. Dave, audience's first win. Brian is 1-5. 6 points until the last episode of this show. 6 points was the record. So you would have tied the record. We got 7 in the overtime matchup a couple weeks ago. But 6, great performance. 5 is a great performance from Brian. The contestants are getting strong here. We had a little bit lower scoring earlier in the season. They're picking it up. Dominant Dave. Brian holding paper over his face. We had another good guess here. Oliver had 37-62. Dark Blue Gold a little on the low side. Matt a little bit higher than that. Brian. How do we feel here?
Great, man, but we got the twilight years.
I am absolutely crushed. Okay, I was thinking, well, maybe I messed up and accidentally went with his career numbers. No, he rushed for 11,200.
He's top 20 all time in career rushing.
Roughly what he did with the Bengals, so you got that going for you.
Yep. Brian, I don't even have the final score up here.
That one hurt.
Yeah,
that hurt.
Yeah,
that was a tough one.
It comes down to Michigan, right? You didn't count 2021. You closed it there.
Yeah.
It's the clutch gene, really.
Yeah, it's the clutch gene. Brian doesn't have it. Dave has it.
The clutch gene comes for us all.
Dave, first of all, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
How does it feel to be the audience's first win? How does it feel to beat Brian here?
Well, I'm a born winner, so really it's nothing new for me. So,
Brian, Dark Blue Gold had Brian ready, all set to go, and now he has to hold on to it. That's tough. Dillon has a Bengal.
This is what happens when you count your chickens.
If it was Dillon as a Bengal, you would have been looking great, Brian. All right, so here's how we end the show, Dave. We're gonna go. So we had first down, second down, third down. Now we're punting, as the Patriots always do on fourth down. In the punt, we are going to give our game predictions. Brian and I talked the Buffalo game a little bit. You didn't get a chance to, so give me 2 or 3 sentences on how you feel about the game, and then give me your score prediction.
Honestly, the Patriots kind of are who they are. They're remarkably consistent, and what they are is a really good football team. This comes down to me to which Josh Allen shows up, because he's been really great and really bad, and there's not too much of a way to tell which guy's going to show up on either game. Belichick's usually good at stopping the quarterbacks from playing their best, but there was last year too that happened. Right. I think the Patriots win by a field goal, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Bills win either.
Okay, Brian. We talked about the game, so just give me a score prediction here.
26-16 Patriots.
Okay. Dave, I said when we were talking about it, I said I'm not fully on the Patriots train, Patriots contender type train yet. I still think the Bills are a step above them. I still think the Chiefs are. I said if they win on Monday night, especially if they win convincingly, I'm sprinting to the front of the line. I think I'm going to be sprinting to the front of the line. I'm going to go 27-21 Patriots. Predicated on J.C. Jackson handling Stephon Diggs for the most part, which I think he does. I think he's going to get redemption for last year. I'm going to go 27-21 Patriots. You'll be entering the bye week with a game in the loss column ahead of the Bills. And then they'll be playing the Bucs. You might be 2 games up, and you go from there. You win the division. Let's go. Dave, thanks for coming on. Congrats on your win. Huge win for the audience. Brian now has the most losses, extends his record most losses in Pick 6 trivia history. But Brian, the tournament's coming up. You'll be in the tournament. You can always make your noise there. No one cares about regular season if you win the tournament, right?
That's right. That's right.
Dark Blue Gold saying head says the run comes to an end with this game. Rooting for an OT win, Folk field goal, something like 24-21. Team Crazy Mascot 30-22 Patriots. All right, we'll be back next week. Should be Wednesday. We'll be on the bye week. I wasn't going to do a bye week show. We didn't get to do Thanksgiving, so we're going to do a bye week show. We'll try to have some fun with it. We'll do more segments, less talk. For Dave,
we'd like an update on the boiler situation.
Yes, I got you. For Dave and Brian, I appreciate you guys. Follow them at bphillips_SB. Follow Dave at DLPatsThoughts. No underscores in there. Follow at Pat's Pulpit. Follow us. If you're watching on Twitch, you're not following us, go ahead and hit the follow. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube, subscribe there. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan_Kieran. I don't recommend it. Other than that, we'll be back next week at Wednesday at 7 p.m. Thanks, guys.